Well, welcome to the 2022 Joyce Leicester Shield, playing for the Softball Australia Under-23 Women's National Championships. James Harris here, and alongside me, Anthony Weatherstone. Hello and welcome, Anthony.
Hey James, how you doing? Hello everybody.
Well, it just feels like yesterday that we were here for the Gilly Shield. Actually, it feels like 2 days ago.
53 hours, not that we're counting.
And we're absolutely pleased to be able to bring you the live softball action for the Under-23 Women's National Championships. We'll bring you as many of the games as possible today. Of course, we had trouble with the weather, and thanks to all the volunteers and the grounds crew, and also to a couple of the stragglers from interstate that, well, if we're not playing, may as well make myself useful, and got out there and helped us with the grounds, and very appreciative of that. Tonight's games, we'll bring you two if the rain holds off. The first one we'll bring you is Queensland versus Victoria, and then the late game, if you can stay up that late, will be South Australia and New South Wales. So Queensland went down in their first game, didn't they, Anthony?
They did. It was close for a while, and eventually New South Wales were able to kick on and win that 6-3, and South Australia were able to get up over Victoria in their first game as well, 3-0.
So these two teams yet to register a win, so both desperate to get on the board.
And you can see that straight away that they've both gone to their number ones. Zonka comes in for Queensland and Laird for Victoria.
Swing and a miss on the first pitch. Zonka, is that the pronunciation you asked about that? Zonka? Go to your notes, mate. I was just going to say they're keen.
Zonka, sorry, I apologise. I apologise.
Yeah,
it's been a long day.
Both teams keen to register a win, because in this 5-team tournament, only the top 4 go through to the finals. Ground ball to second pace. This is Kurihara for Queensland to register the first out. Didn't see the number for Ritter, who's playing first with a jacket. So's the right field or all 3 outfielders. Must be tough for Queensland to come down into the southern states and play in the cold.
I was about to say, I don't think they're going to be too upset about it being wet, but I think the temperature might have something to, might not be super keen about that.
Oh, Chelsea Radden is in the box for Victoria. She fouls that one off.
So Chelsea's one of the 3 captains that the Victorian Under-23 team has. So she's one of the few returning players from the last time there was an Under-23s, all the way back in 2019.
Swing and a miss this time around. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Marshall of their outfield.
Now Zonka for Queensland pitched in the under-18s, was player of the final.
Yes, so we had an opportunity to talk to Coach Johansson yesterday, and he was talking about the fact that everybody in the Queensland Under-23 has won a national championship. But most recently, Zonka with the under-18s.
Very impressive. Foul ball. Now, there might be a delay from time to time in this game. The outfield's going to be wet. The rain was bucketing down just a little while ago. So they'll need to dry them off quite regularly, you'd think.
It's going to be a tough night as a player, absolutely. So,
and for a commentator, we were just talking before, we could do with some hand warmers, maybe a hot chocolate.
Yep.
So if you're listening and you're down close by West Beach, drop one off.
Yep. No more jackets for James, though. He's already got 3 on.
Ground ball gets past Zonka, so it goes to shortstop. This is Kurihara, makes the out in time. You heard it right, Kurihara at second, and it's shortstop. For Queensland, they both played in the Gilly Shield as well.
Yeah, they've had a long week here in Adelaide, so Mo, who's Moy, sorry, thank you, just been corrected, which I'm sure is going to happen a fair bit. Yeah, so Moy's the older of the two sisters, and she's at shortstop, and that was a great play in the wet. She also is one of the team, she's the team vice captain for the under-23 Queensland team.
Rebecca Schaefer, now out of the Gillies Shield. We saw the Victorians a few times, and this was a player that impressed at shortstop. She's a battler in the box as well, and she is here again with the under-23s, Rebecca Schaefer. She'll play shortstop for Victoria this week. I saw her yesterday as the rest of the Victorian team came and joined her for training, and swings at a high one for a strikeout. And I called her Rachel. I can't believe it. I thought I was better than that.
Well, since you've just been calling her for 4 days in the coverage, yeah, that's a rare miss by you in a week where your Twitter account has gained an extra couple of 100,000 followers, isn't it? Like you just.
Yeah, I don't have Twitter, but.
Thanks for shooting that down straight away.
Yeah, I did get a call from 5AA, and Channel 7 did also make mention of the broadcast. So yeah, it's nice that softball was in the media. We're really pleased that we were able to showcase the Gillies Shield and now the under-23s.
Oh, you deserved it, mate. It was a great call, and it was an amazing game. That Tuesday, the 3 games that the SA played and New South Wales playing 2, and Victoria happening to get over Queensland in the morning to get a shot, and they were in the mix halfway through that second game, that prelim. It was first time they'd been there in a couple of decades. So look, it was a pretty special Tuesday. So
yeah, one I won't forget in a hurry. But let's get back to the action here, and we can go around the Victorian lineup. Caitlin Laird pitching to Chelsea Kimber, Natasha Holt at first, Alana Panza at second, Tamara Hutchinson at third, Rebecca Schaefer at short, and in the outfield left to right, Emily Fry, Chelsea Radden and Casey Smith. That's your Victorian defence, and a couple of familiar names from last week there.
Absolutely, yeah, 100%. And obviously a really tough night for both teams. Both of them already coming off of games. Queensland, literally, their game against New South Wales had gone on a bit longer than the SA Vic game, so they've literally run over in the rain, set up, and they're out in the field. So
I might get you to do a couple of score updates for us, mate. I know you've got them around, so we'll go around the grounds thanks to MK Services SA in a moment. But here is Moi Kuihara, the leader for Queensland. It's in there, Caitlin Laird for the first strike.
Really powerful batter. She had some great at-bats for the Queensland Heat at the Gillies. On diamond 2, she hit a ball centre right that can be best described as a fireball. It was a great shot.
So we'll ask Anthony in between batters just to give us a score update from the earlier games and the one that's currently being played on the back diamond between South Australia and Western Australia. But this is Kurihara. Fouls that one off in a check swing.
So SA have got a jump on WA early in the first, and they're currently leading Western Australia 1-0 in bottom of the first.
Okay, well that's a good positive start for the home team.
National champion winning pitcher Millie Fidge on the mound.
Kurihara line drive to right field. Gee, she took it comfortably out there. Casey Smith at right field.
Sorry, I talked over you there. That was a great piece of the ball and a great catch in the conditions. But yeah, so Millie's on the mound for SA tonight, knowing that they've got another game straight after this against New South Wales.
This Kurihara, we've called it a number of times already tonight, haven't we? Both of them had plays in the field. Now they hit 1-2 for Queensland. Kurihara's on the move in the left-handed batter's box. It is a bit sticky out there. The clay infield's wet, so we'll see if it has any impact on any of the players. So far, so good. Ground ball straight to first, and good play from Holt. Basically just had to get the ball in the glove there because she was standing right next to the base when she fielded it for the second out. Thanks to everyone who's watching from around Australia and around the world. I'm sure the Queensland fans would be enjoying this because due to the rain and the reschedule, they actually get a game on the live stream because it's a reduced broadcast for the under-23s, but we'll bring the last two games of each day on Saturday and Sunday. So,
and the one game tomorrow night.
One game tomorrow night as well. So to everyone watching from Queensland, this will be their one game, and hopefully they make the finals for the Queensland fans, and you'll get to see them again this week.
Well, the current reigning title holders, so they won the last time the under-23s was played up at Redlands. Coach Johansson was quite jovial, saying that they've been taking a lot of selfies with the Joyce Lester Shield this week, just because they believe that they've obviously been holding it for the last 3 years, even though we haven't played two championships.
Yes, because the under-23s women's has been cancelled more than any other event.
Yeah.
And while you're watching, let us know where you're watching from. We did it during the Gillies Shield. Post your club name as well. Give them a bit of a shout out, because on the Softball Australia and all the state websites, you can go find your club. And if you don't have a club to play for, the club search is there for you to find your local club in your local area. So be interesting to see where people are watching from, whether you're watching from COVID isolation like Maddie Cameron, or you're just trying to get away from Matt Torpy for a bit of privacy like Jess. That was Rhiannon Kemp, who reaches base on balls. First hit of the ball game. Fox over. Rifles one to right field.
Yeah, that's a great shot. So tonight's battle is obviously going to be about control. Obviously the ground is, as you can obviously see, not holding up well under the conditions. The grounds crew have done just an amazing job, but putting that ball into play from the offense and just making this defense have to work is going to be the key. And Queensland so far doing a fairly good job of that.
Savannah Ritter is hitting, shows Barn, well, Paul's back now, and again. Oh, double steals on, no one covering third base. Well, I missed it because the catcher's come up firing. Was it third base that took that? Let's have a look at the Eastern replay.
No, I think it was Schaefer that came over the top.
Yeah, this is the Eastern replay. Left-handed catcher as well. Didn't pick that one up before. This is a better angle from our team at Spacequake Sports. They'd get it. Oh. Well, either way, it was a good play. Good aggressive base running from Queensland, attempting the double steal. Like that, Anthony.
Yeah, and we saw
two out.
Yeah, and we saw a lot of it today in the earlier game between SA and Victoria. Obviously, both coaches using the opportunity with the wet conditions to throw the ball around and really make it hard for the opposition. That being said, in most cases that it happened, they were able to catch them out. So just shows you the skill level of the young, talented players that we've got here this weekend.
Let's turn the card over back to Victoria. Had a 3-up, 3-down inning, their first batting innings, and their 4-hitter. Panza lays down a running bunt. Your 4-hitter running bunt there, Anthony, and arrives safely.
And that's exactly what we're talking about right there. The pressure that's put on by the offense, by the ball being hit into play, and obviously having to pick it up in these conditions. And we've got an error at first base, and we've got a base runner straight away. So it's good coaching by Coach Schaefer from Victoria.
Big swing from Holt, batting 5 for the Victorians.
Yeah, Coach Schaefer talked about the fact yesterday that she believes she's got a really good blend of, you know, fast base runners and contact hitters, but she reckons she's got some great power hitters in the lineup as well. And Holt was one of them.
Panza was the one that put down the bunt. She takes off on the pitch. She dives in. Oh, we don't want to see what the front looks like. It's not too bad. I thought she'd come up a bit more muddy than that. So that is a credit to the grounds crew.
Still read the letters, so that's a positive sign.
Yeah, great work by Panza. Stolen base.
Holt 1 for 3 in the earlier game.
Just jammed a little there. Kurihara will make the play, but effectively gets the runner all the way from first to third on 2 consecutive pitches and gives the Victorians 2 chances to strike first.
Real important game, this one, with both teams losing their first game today in the conditions, and obviously with the weather a bit of an unknown. So runner at 3, very important.
Emily Fry for Victoria.
One of the 3 captains in the Victorian team.
Smashes this in the gap. It's an RBI and extra bases for Fry. She turns 1, stands at 2. Victoria on the board.
That's a great piece of batting. Going inside out, deep into centre right, scored the run. It's what you'd expect your young leaders to do in your team. By example, gets herself to second. Victoria's still 1 out with a runner in scoring position.
Well, enough concern. There's the Eastern replay of the ball going all the way to the fence. There's the run crossing the plate. Enough concern for the Victorian coach to come out, call timeout. I'm sure all states, and particularly when you get to this level, at national championship level, that everyone's played in the rain once or twice.
I wouldn't have thought that this would be foreign conditions to Queensland. The temperature, yes, but in the times that we played up there, James, I always remember it to be pretty wet.
Yeah, we played that tournament that was rained out for a couple of days, and
that one at Redlands. I remember the creek at the back overflowed, and both diamonds looked like swimming pools.
But we got through it.
We did. Even played on a Saturday. I mean, we got smashed, but we played
against the eventual winners as well. Right. All right, back to the action. We see Emily Fry easily able to take 3 on that wild pitch. So Zunka just having a little trouble here in these greasy conditions, and she had it all her own way in the under-18s, didn't she? And being tested early here against the Vics. Casey Smith, a swing and a miss.
Yeah, Zunka's performance in the under-18s finals, you know, she threw 7 innings for 4 hits, 1 run, 2 walks and 8 strikeouts, which went a long way to getting them across the line.
Foul ball.
Threw some good meaningful innings in the Gillies as well, so didn't have any sort of extended games, but came in and did a role for the Queensland Heat when needed.
Still a little bit of breeze in the air. We know that there might be another band of rain to come. Gets a piece of this. It goes high and will test the left fielder, and a sacrifice fly opportunity. Can she make the tag in time? Fry will score, so Casey Smith put it down as a sacrifice fly. Can't ask for more than that.
No, so the ball hit out to Sarah Tonkin field, at left field, and good catch, but difficult to control. Good job, but Victoria get a very valuable another run.
So we've named it. Left field is now the patch of grass is the Sarah Tonkin.
It should, well, I thought it was dubbed Sarah Tonkin field out there, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's her
so
home.
It's no longer left field, it's Sarah Tonkin field.
Well, it should be her home, I would have thought, but maybe we'll save that for the Premier League, I reckon.
Caitlin Laird. Now, she's played a couple of different roles within, 4 or 5 days here. She was leading off for the Open Women's and playing outfield. Tonight, she's pitching and batting 8 for the 23s.
Yeah, she's the number 1 for Victoria, so that's why she's on the mound in a really important game against the reigning title holders. So.
Now, in your research, Anthony, you told me that there is 4 out of the 5 teams that have got the expectations to be playing final late in the finals.
No,
Swing and a miss for Zunker.
Good pitch. No, everybody they were all very positive about believing that they've got the group, and obviously Western Australia, there's some young players in there. The important thing that they all said was 4 out of the 5 is that they need to finish top 2 to be a contender.
Okay.
They don't. There was only the one team that sort of said the 4 will be enough. Let's just get to the finals and we'll see what happens from there. It was all about just management, but it's difficult in the sense that because of the weather, we don't know. Is it going to be a 1-round tournament, a 2-round tournament? And that was all the things that the coaches and the teams were weighing up. So it's a bit of an unknown quantity.
All right, well, to review the top of the second inning, Alana Panza laid down a running bunt, arrived safely to first, then stole a base, and then Natasha Holt moved her around to third for Emily Fry, and she hit one to deep centre. An RBI double for Fry in the first run of the game, and then she got to third on a wild pitch for Casey Smith to hit her in with a sacrifice fly, so 2 runs. In the second inning for Victoria, they strike first, and if they can hold here, they'll go into the third inning with a slight advantage, but if I know Queensland, they'll be keen to put a run on the board, and they'll start with Savannah Ritter, who was in the box when the runner was thrown out last inning.
So SA still leading WA 1-0 in the bottom of the second.
Down for a ball. Only the 2 commentators tonight is a bit weird, isn't it? We go a bit quiet because we expect that third voice, whether it's Eric or Lee. Eric's interstate, working the baseball showcase, and it's a bit late for Lee to be out.
Late night shopping on a Thursday might be the reason I reckon we've got Lee in trouble. He's happy to be here on a Wednesday.
Not that we didn't ask, we'll get Mel McGee tomorrow. We'll get Mel McGee tomorrow night, and we're hoping to hear more from Jay Jensen, the host of the softball shout-out. She, of course, is busy playing for New South Wales at the moment, so, we don't want to cramp her style and ruin her tournament for her, but you know what, Anthony, as soon as she come and joined us on the commentary team, she got a start. She was getting hits. Speaking of hits, that's a good one.
Oh, wow, it's over.
Savannah Ritter hits it all the way to the fence. She stands at 2. may have been a little obstruction because she held up there. There was no arm out from any of the umpires. And she'll take that. Ritter stand at 2, lead-off double for Queensland. And as I said, Anthony, they just fight straight back, the Queenslanders.
Yeah, so Savannah's in her first ever rep team for Queensland. So a big moment for her today.
Oh, brilliant.
And Coach Johannesson was one of the, on the scout report, likened her to a Natalie Titcomb type. Yeah.
All right.
Powerful, strong.
Okay, all right, that's a big call for your first rep team.
A powerful, strong hitter that can play third and catching.
All right, well, for those that don't know, Natalie Titcomb
Could hit a long ball.
Few Olympics, yeah. Hall of Famer. Smith swinging a miss on that one there. Keen to keep the ball rolling for Queensland and drive in that run.
So big night for Monique Smith, Aussie squad junior spirit member, just coming back from a serious knee injury, been out for a couple of years.
Oh, that's going to smart. It's probably only about 13 degrees here, but because we're so close to the ocean and the breeze blows across this diamond, probably feels like about minus 11. So you don't want that ball that's moving at about 95k an hour smashing you in the elbow. But she's taken it well, Monique Smith. 2 runners aboard.
None out. The pitcher, Chelsea Zunko.
I love that, seeing the pitchers in the hitting lineup. Saw a fair bit of it at the Gilly Shield.
Yeah, one of the coaches, he said that that was one of the hard things that he had to...
Pop up bunt straight back to Laird, and she checks the runners. Second base did nothing wrong there. There was no one covering two, but for a bunt, she's obviously got to cover one. So, no, there was never a chance of an out there, but yeah, just popped it straight back up to Laird, who did well for the first out.
Brings Chelsea Kimber to the plate.
What were you saying about the coach, about the hitting line?
Sorry, sorry, I've read off the complete wrong sheet. That's Michaela Facer. My humble apologies. So yeah, and speaking to one of the coaches, the difficulty he was having was whether or not his pitchers should hit. His concern being that being a short tournament, an injury or anything like that, there's no real time to recover. But also weighing up against the weather and having to actually try and, win enough games to be in contention. So
running bunt attempt goes foul. Yeah, good point, Anthony. The short format tournament is over 4 days, so 3 days minor round and the final day, the 4th day is finals day, and each team will play a day with 2 games and then 2 days with 3 games. They'll be in different orders, of course, but it's a big program in 3 days. And then if you finish top 2, you lose that first final. You're potentially playing 3 games on the last day as well.
That's right.
Like the SA Stars did.
Yeah, and some of these players are backing up from that previous tournament. Most teams have actually got 4 or 5 players that have played both, so it's going to be a very long week.
Great pitching from Laird. She allowed a double, then a hit by pitch, and since then she's shown a bit of control and in control of this game now. 2 out in the bottom of the second. We're at number 9 hitter, Matisse Sorbello.
Speaking of name drops, and speaking with the coaches, you're going to love this one. Coach, a big fan of Sorbello behind the plate. Says she's got a real wow factor about her. And from a catching perspective, likened her to Marissa Karpodios. Now
another Olympian.
So, yeah.
Okay, well, I like these comparisons.
So I'm looking forward to seeing how she shapes up, because Warburton, obviously silver medalist from 2004, Queensland championship winner 5 times. Back in that era of Roach, Harding, Wilkins.
The 2 runners haven't moved in about 10 pitches. Zorbello, good swing, fouls that one off. I mentioned that because it was a double to centre field to start this inning. And Ritter, it's almost like she's anchored to that base.
Yeah. That's good pitching.
Laird does it for the Vicks. 2 strikeouts and a little pop-up straight back to her to retire the Queenslanders after they threaten, and advantage Victoria. They lead after 2 innings, 2 runs to 0. Take us around the grounds. First of all, Anthony, give us the results so far today and then take us over to Diamond 2 thanks to MK Services SA.
Okay, so earlier, obviously, today we had both games delayed back to the 1:30 slot, and then they were re-delayed back to 4. So Victoria took on South Australia on Diamond 1 at 4 o'clock. SA got an early jump on a pass ball, and then were able to bat some runs in with a couple of the Hills girls, getting them 3-1 over Victoria in the 4 o'clock game. In the other game, Diamond 2 at the same time at 4 o'clock, New South Wales jumped Queensland and were able to stay in front. And they got an early lead and pushed on with it to go up 6-3. And currently over on Diamond 2, as of right now, South Australia still holding a 1-0 lead over Western Australia in the top of the 3rd. So this time it's Chelsea Kimber leading off for Victoria. Good pitch by Zunko, testing her outside. Both teams being very aggressive, as you'd expect probably in conditions such as this.
Yeah, Chelsea Kimber in the left-hand box. Left-hand catcher. Always interested to see a left-hand catcher goes down swinging. Now, Anthony, you were telling me before her nickname's Billy. Billy Kimber. Back to the top of the order for Victoria, Tamara Hutchison. And through that first 9 hitters, Zunka's thrown 3 strikeouts.
'70s, mate. Born in the early 70s. That's why I'm not.
That's okay. If Lee was here, he would have gone around and told us who the umpires are. We'll do that in between hitters. It was a ground out to second base the first time for Hutchinson. Again goes right side and a screamer from Ritter at first. Hutchinson got all of it. Here's the Eastern replay. Just drilled it and just stabs the glove out of it and takes a great catch. Nice glove as well, bright red glove.
You're always looking at that glove to see if it's a mitt or a glove, aren't you?
I do, yeah. I like a first base using a big mitt. High for a ball. Radden for Victoria. Ground out to shortstop, the first time up. And almost a miss hit off the end of the handle. Catch taken by Kurihara for the third out.
It's a good innings by Queensland just to try and hold a bit of that momentum that Victoria had in those first couple of innings. So now what Queensland are going to do is keep doing what they did last innings with getting base runners on, but then actually moving them around. So
well, we're back for the bottom half of the third inning, and Queensland just having a bit of a chat. The coach has just grabbed the team on diamond, not in the dugout where it's dry and a bit warmer, and you know, just probably getting that message across that all right, you've all seen her once now. We've gone through the order. Now let's get the ball into play and capitalise on our opportunities, because they've left a couple of chances squander a little bit. They had 2 runners on and attempted that double steal in the first inning, and then they led off with a double in the second and failed to score both times. But excellent defence to Victoria. Now, Aman Lee would have taken us around the diamond to tell us who the umpires are. Darren Clark is the plate umpire, and on first base, Angela Broadbent, who was the technical delegate during the Gillies Shield last week, and Damien McCauley, who was umpiring during the grand final of the Gillies Shield, a Softball SA Hall of Fame umpire. He's been to a couple of men's world championships. Great shot. Kurihara, single up the middle.
yeah, really strong bat, getting the ball, putting the ball low, get it on the ground, make it hard for the defence.
Well, that's the third hit of the game so far for Queensland, and they haven't been able to string them together, have they? Probably the reason they haven't got on the board yet. We've got a change coming.
Queensland number 2 is out. Number 88 is in.
Kurihara's going to have a spell. That's Hirari Kurihara, who was batting behind her sister. And in comes, is that Mackenzie?
McKaylee?
McKaylee.
Yep.
Oh, I'm going to get this wrong. Peebles?
Number 88?
Yeah, for the Queensland team.
Yeah, McKaylee Donny.
For the Queensland team.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry. Mackenzie Peebles.
Well, Mackenzie sees that first one. Sort of pick-off attempt at first.
Yeah, I thought that was a bit strange, but again, showing the importance of the game.
Most lead-offs, you'd back him to steal a base or two. So the Victorian catcher, Kimber, just keeping Kurihara honest at first. Third base is down in case of the short play. But I see first base back, which means that Laird's going to have to field anything that goes down the first base line. Hutchinson likely to come in to shark anything else close. Saw some terrific bunt defense during the Gillies Shield. Great shot from Mackenzie. She cracks it to left field. So back-to-back hits to start off the third inning for Queensland.
Great batting there in the way that she's just gone through the count to find the pitch that she was after. Looked a little bit inside, and so she just saw all of it and wanted to turn on it. Queensland now runners at 1 and 2 with none out.
Brennan Kemp had a base on balls her first time. But you told me earlier that she had a hit in the first game against New South Wales.
Yeah, she's also the Queensland captain of the under-23s and is one of the 4 members of this team that's just spent the 4 days here for the Gillies playing centre field.
Pulls that one foul. We are in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Queensland have no outs, 2 runners aboard.
Same as last inning.
But this batter in the box makes it more batters and plate appearances than what Victoria have, but Victoria have a 2-run lead. Yeah, swing on that one there, although she tried to hold it back a little, but might have been called as well. Good pitch from Laird.
Yeah, he's trying to find the balance of being aggressive in a game where, because you don't know if there's going to be weather coming soon, you don't want to sort of fall behind and sort of just try and, through attrition, get those runs back. The reality is you sort of have to try and get them back straight away. You have to be maybe a little bit greedy. So
well, she gets a good piece of this one. It's going to go into the gap. Kurihara will score from 3rd. A good throw in from Fry at left field, but nothing she could do to stop that run from scoring. Kemp with an RBI double.
Great hitting through that zone. It's like they're targeting that zone. It's like they've seen something that they liked. Maybe that's why the Coach Johannesson brought them in before, and they've had a bit of a chat about it. I mean, their under-18 team went through 10-0 and didn't lose. And the last time the 23 played, the Queensland team went through 10-0 and didn't lose. So
Fox over fouls that one off, and 3 consecutive hits to start off this inning for the Queenslanders. Anthony, I check the comments once in a while on social media. I just saw a familiar name pop up, Scott Watson. Remember that day? He got 10 hits for us in one day? In one day,
yes.
10 hits.
Yes.
That man,
he helped us out significantly. Ripper fella. Strong bloke too, by memory. Played in the infield.
Occasionally attends weddings in Adelaide as well. Well, Foxover has shown some good aggression here in the box. 0-2 count. Goes opposite field. The run's going to score from 3. Penza makes the out. So she gave up a run to make an out. It would have been a tough play to make because she was quite deep at second base.
I was just thinking that with a runner.
Foxover was swinging hard.
Yeah, I think with a runner at 3, there's just the way that Queensland's hitting sort of forced Victoria's infield to shuffle back a little. Normally with the runner at 3 in the situation like that, less than 2 out, you might be in a bit closer to sort of try and cut that down, but got the out, which is still important, but has tied the game up 2-2. Great response by Queensland.
Yeah, they've tied the ball game. It's 2 runs all. With 1 out here in the 3rd with the threat. And Kemp on 3rd base. Ritter started off the 2nd inning with a big shot to centre field. Movement in the Victorian bullpen. How much does the cold weather play on the hands and fingers of the pitcher?
You would think enough, in the sense that, I mean, obviously Victoria also probably, and no offence to our friends across the border, but probably not renowned as one of the warmest spots on earth. So again, these were conditions that may not be super foreign to the players, but again, at any stage where you're throwing a ball close to 100 k's an hour and you're trying to make it move left, right, up and down, it wouldn't be a great experience, I wouldn't have thought. Just misses on the outside edge. Just an update from Diamond 2. South Australia continue to hold their lead. Sophie Roberts has just hit a double.
Queensland number 54 is out. Number 83.
And South Australia is still 1-0 up in the fourth innings, top 4.
All right, there's a timeout called and another change from Queensland. But while seems like the sky's fallen down on us here, Anthony, I'm not sure what that is.
I don't think it's fallen.
What happened? Did Ritter's on base? We've got runners at the corners. What do we miss? We'll have to check up on that in a moment. So Smith comes out of the game, and in comes bench player from Queensland. It's Jess. We've got 83. I got the number. Runner goes and tagged out. Didn't slide. Runner at 3 didn't go. I think someone's missed a signal. Jessica Road it is, who's come in for Monique Smith. So Savannah Ritter has been thrown out at 2, then Road. It's after that next one. Weird play, wasn't it? 1-3 split.
Yeah. Schaefer, I mean, like, she didn't look likely in the sense too, like, Schaefer read it really well. She was already just waiting there for her, so.
Well, 2 outs with the runner on 3rd still for Queensland, so they still have another chance to bring that run in. After a great start, 3 consecutive hits. RBIs to Kemp and Fox over as Brody fouls that one off.
Jess Road coming out of Ipswich. Shout out to Tigers softball. She was one of the unfortunate players that was on that under-18 team for the Spirit that never got to go away.
Great hands from Rhodey. And almost an equally good effort at centre field. The ball goes to the fence and Rhodey takes off. She's going to turn for home. Here comes the throw. It's off target. In the park, home run. Comes in for a pinch hit. 2 RBIs.
What a way to come in and have an impact. Far out. Imagine if that runner hadn't stole before. So Coach Johannesson really using his bench early. They've had one shot at it, and if he's sort of seen what he's seen and he's made the changes that he has quickly. Again, not waiting for the weather to sort of dictate the result to him. He's taken the game on aggressively. So.
Well, there you can see it on the Eastern replay. She just backed herself the whole way and she scores. What a great hit. And well, you can't blame the Victorian centre fielder Radden for attempting a great diving play, because if it comes off, the innings is over. But so far away from the play, it was the right fielder that had to do the backing up, and that was enough for the runner to score. So Queensland, a very big 3rd inning, have scored 4, and they lead by 2. Pitching change for Victoria. We can say that Laird did a great job through the first 2 innings, but Yeah, that chat from the Queensland coach really worked, because being able to get 4 hits in the space of 6 batters.
So this is Holly Kane. She pitched the earlier game against South Australia, throwing 71 pitches for 3 hits, 2 walks and 2 strikeouts. You sort of get the sense that she might have put her hand up just to sort of try and stay warm, go out and do something.
Yeah, of course, go out to the bullpen, stay warm, and when your time comes, ready to go. Chelsea Zunker's gonna be the first batter against the new pitcher.
So 10 minutes ago, we were looking at 2-all and a really tight game, but the top part of Queensland order in this innings has just really blown the game wide open.
Zunker swings hard at this. It's in foul territory. Just lands in between the running, the hustling first and second base players in Holt and Panzer, and a life for Zunker. It's a good swing.
Yeah, it was a good swing. It was great effort too by the 2 Victorian infielders getting over there in conditions where it's hard to find your feet at the moment.
Plenty more under 23 action to come over the next 4 days, including the 9 o'clock game tonight, SA versus New South Wales. Zonka smashes this! Out to centre left in the alley, one bouncing into the wall. She will stand up at 2. Welcome to the ball game, Holly Kane.
Halfway up the fence, that looked. On the full, that looked like it was gone. That's like the shot that Titsakonis put through in the final. Oops.
She was hitting for a cycle in the final, Titsakonis.
Yeah, that has. It's come off.
It did hit the fence on the full.
Whereas hers went over, of course. But, yeah, that's a great piece. And her first at bat, too, for Zunker.
And with 2 out, there'll be a courtesy runner for Zunker, the pitcher.
Temporary runner for the pitcher is number 88. Substitution.
Mackenzie Peebles
57 is out. 94 is in.
will go onto the bench again, the Queensland coach.
He's definitely not shy on getting through it. And Victoria's bullpen's got new activity again.
Yeah, faces come out. Tanika Harris is the hitter. I think he's pulled the trigger, hasn't he? The Queensland coach. He's like, all right, we're down 2-0. Let's go to our stars and see what they can do. And every change he's made so far has paid off. We've seen Peebles with a single and Rhodey with a in the Parker.
Well, if it's a single round because of the weather, the way that it breaks out, I mean, being 1-1 tomorrow is super important, considering you could be, Victoria at the moment looking down 0-2, which is a long way back if the weather sort of plays its part. So you can sense the urgency in his coaching and the way that he's getting the best out of them, though. He's made, as you said, he's made great calls.
That's better pitching from Kane. Down in the zone. Always tough to hit one on the down and out. And then gets her chasing on one that's up a little.
It's one of those things where you get conditions like this where it's cold and wet and you sort of want to instruct your hitters, traditionally it's, make her throw pitches. It's going to be harder for her to control the ball.
fouls that one off down the right field line.
But of course, the flip side of that is because it is harder for the pitchers to be able to control the ball in these conditions, it just means that the strike zone gets bigger because the ball's going to get funneled a lot more because the pitcher's working harder to get it there because of those conditions, and the hitters are taking huge advantage.
Oh, it's another hit. Oh, great catch! Chelsea Radden, she laid out for one earlier in the inning that just got away from her, but she made amends. Takes a screamer of a catch out at centre field to retire the Queensland threat.
And you see the Victorian coaching staff of, it's a great catch.
Brilliant on the wet grass.
Yeah, not easy. The Victorian coaching staff, you can see, have come out at the start of this innings too, so you can obviously trying to communicate the state of the game.
All right, let's quickly review 8 batters in that inning. 1, 2, 3, count them. 4, 5 hits in the inning. 4-0. 4 in the inning. 4-2's the score. Queensland just dominant in that inning all the way through, and it took a brilliant catch to end that inning.
Top 5 on diamond 2, Millie Fidge carrying on her good Gilly Shield form, throwing 8 strikeouts so far in her game over there on 57 pitches. Speaking of good nights, Sophie Roberts from the Cats for South Australia, 2 for 2, having a good night out as well as they continue to lead 1-0 in the top of the 5th.
Here's Schaefer. The first of 3 strikeout victims for Zunker.
Yeah, got her high last time chasing, and you could see that Schaefer, she knew it too. She wasn't happy with herself, so I'd suggest she would have learnt from that this time round. One of Victorian's captains who makes some long journey to get to training, travels over an hour each way. One of a couple of players that has to make some sacrifices for the Victorian team. One of 2 players from Victoria's last under-23 team at the 2019 Nationals at Redlands.
Ground ball to short. Kurihara charges it, makes a play. First base player just held on the tiptoes to complete the out, and Schaefer's retired.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at the Eastern replay. Good play. She stayed low, fired off a throw that maybe slipped out of the hand.
Unlucky.
For Schaefer. As we get to the next batter, it's Lana Panza, the 4-hitter, that put down a running bunt. Gets a piece of this one. Centre fielder tracking back. Rhiannon Kemp can't get it. She's quick. She turns 2. Will slide into 3. Victoria fire straight back against Queensland. Courtesy of Panza. Eastern replay. She got all of it. You can see the water come off the bat as she swung it.
Nothing like seeing your clean-up hitter in her first at-bat lay down a bunt to get on with the forced error at first and then follow it up with a shot over centre field.
Well, she's shown a bit so far in this game, hasn't she?
Yeah, absolutely.
The second base player for Victoria. Running bunt, stolen base, and then a triple. Natasha Holt grounded out her last time at bat, but what she did do was she protected Panzer for a stolen base and then advanced her to third on a ground out to second. So was still effective. It's a piece of this. This is going to land in. The infield was in a bit for the runner at 3 with less than 2 out. The outfield was deep enough. Texas Liga, Holt's got a hit and an RBI. Emily Fry, she's recorded a hit against Zunker.
Like Schaefer, she's also one of the players that has to make a long journey to training. One of the captains. But Victoria have answered, and there's some intent too, which is good. It's just not enough time in these games at the moment to sort of try and drag those runs back. You've got to go get them straight away.
And what better way to fight back for your team as a pitcher that's just been hit for 2 consecutive hits, and that's to throw a strikeout against the hitter that got a RBI double against you first time up at bat.
Yeah, for sure.
2 outs. A run has scored in this inning. Casey Smith had a sacrifice fly in her first plate appearance to put the second run on the board for Victoria, and now with the runner on first, we'll look to extend for Victoria. What a nice swing, hasn't she?
Yeah, but the challenge, Zunker keeps challenging her up. Just keeps pushing the ball towards the top of that zone.
Good battle, this one up over the letters.
So Sorbello was her catcher in the under-18 final. So you'd think that they've obviously got a good understanding of each other.
Just jammed up a little off the bottom of the barrel. And third base, Fox over for Queensland takes a catch and then ends the threat. This is a pretty entertaining game of softball we've got here. Queensland versus Victoria in the 2022 Joyce Lester Shield. Victoria in the second inning got on top. 2 runs scored. Queensland took them to the third to score, and didn't they do damage to that scorecard? And it's all green as well. 4 runs scored, and then Victoria, like good teams do, replied straight back, reduced that margin to 1, and now in the middle of the 4th. We are halfway through this ball game. It is Queensland narrow 1-run leaders over Victoria.
On diamond 2, Western Australia have made a pitching change as SA come around for their 3rd time through the line. Their pickup player and ace, Grace Walk, has come into the game. In a tough situation with a couple of runners on at 1 out and the dangerous Roberts on her way. Got to get through Daniels and Adams. So that game on a knife's edge, and it's just gone. As soon as we say that, Peyton Daniels has hit a double, and Jorgensen and De Silva have scored. So SA now go ahead 3-0 against Western Australia with 1 out still in the top of the 5th.
Daniels was a 2-run hero in the first game against Victoria for South Australia. It sounds like she's done it again against WA in game 2 with another 2-run double.
And the dangerous Neve Adams, who can hit a long ball as well to come.
Another change made from the Queensland coaching staff. Taylor Evans comes to the plate, replacing Saul Bello. Make it the 4th change.
I like it.
After allowing the starting lineup all to get an at-bat or a plate appearance at least.
Yeah, I like what he's doing. He's challenging the group and he's getting the performance from them straight away.
Just a little early on that one, maybe a change of pace from Holly Kane. Two count for the new hitter, relatively new pitcher for Victoria. The change was made. Partway through the last inning when Caitlin Laird was hit out of the lineup. She actually did pretty well in the first 2 innings of work, a couple of strikeouts, denying the Queensland threat, but it was all too much in the third. 6 hits, 4 runs, all green. And Holly Keane came in and settled things, got out of the inning after a couple of hits against her as well. Oh, nice shot to the opposite side. Wet ball's going to be hard to control, but...
That's great fielding.
Yeah, Smith gets it in quick smart, but it was a great shot to Evans. Taylor Evans, the new hitter for Queensland, and the coaching has been brilliant. It's paid off yet again. Out of the 4 changes, 3 of them have registered hits.
He's an experienced coach. I mean, he's coached the Queensland Heat for an extended period as well. So, but he's just getting great performance out of this group, who, like most of the teams on the Eastern Seaboard, have had interrupted preparation due to the weather over there.
Kurihara now batting for the 3rd time. It's the bottom of the 4th inning, and she hit a line drive to right field her first time, and a single. It went like a rocket in her second plate appearance. Fouling that one off. And again, we saw the wet come off the bat, wasn't it? It was, I don't know if it's coming off the ball or off the bat. Swing. And just to keep her honest, Kimber throws it over to first. See, that leadoff was weird, wasn't it? She went out there and she just stood there watching it.
It's like she's sort of daring her to throw it.
Yeah. Maybe there was a signal on that last one, and the batter was, the runner was just caught out a little, because Kurihara looked like she was getting her hands to the ball, but she held back. Strikeout. So Kane took her a couple of batters to warm into things, and a great catch from the centre fielder to end the 3rd inning. And this inning she's looked okay. Evans blasted a shot out to right field, but she's got her first strikeout, and it was the dangerous Kurihara. Now Peebles back in the box.
Coach Johannessen's couple of his coaching idols are Tommy Lasorda from the Dodgers fame.
Fouls that one off. Yeah, I had the pleasure of meeting him just before he passed away. I was coaching the Australian Special Olympic team at the World Games at UCLA in LA, and he was the one that presented the medals to the players. Ground ball on a sacrifice bunt. Oh, has a look at a second play. Schaefer takes a tumble, but Peebles does the job. Sacrifice bunt advancing Evans around to second.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
2 outs.
The other idol he's got is Richard McCready, husband of
Sally.
And last week we got to see her
Being
daughter.
a proud father, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Daughter of a gun.
Camp again. She's having a day. One bounce to the fan. She's got wheels. Look at her go. Easily arrives to third. The throw is terrific. RBI triple for Camp to go with an RBI double from last inning.
Far out, right into Kaysler Alley. Hits the fence on a bounce. She is having a day out. What a game. Back and forth.
Yep, Evans scores the 5th. This is Fox over.
Yeah. Victoria's 4th pitch has gone out into the bullpen at the moment, so they're all...
Well, Victoria have got another game after this. Great shot, just off the tip of the glove from Panza. Scored a single for Fox over. Camp scores from third. Their ball keeps rolling.
Yeah, they've got a tough one today. They've got the triple header, Victoria, so they've got Western Australia, who are currently playing over there on the back on Diamond 2. And in the bottom of the 5th, Millie Fidge still on the mound, and it's still 3-0.
Timeout for Victoria. Coach comes out to just have a word, just to settle things down a little bit for a team. There's the shot of the bullpen. Foxover was the hitter. She's had 2 hits in the game so far and 2 RBIs. Good contribution. Can't ask for much more than that, can you? From your hitters, 2 for 3 in the game, and even the one where she grounded out to second, she was still able to score.
They've been super impressive tonight, both teams, especially considering the type of day that they're having.
Queensland versus Victoria, the 2022 Joyce Lester Shield under 23 Women's National Championship, which is sort of late signal from the coach. Thought it might have been a signal over to the runner. Be aggressive was the message from the Queensland coach. Bit of a shootout at the moment, isn't it, Anthony? It's great to watch. We've seen a bit of everything, a great diving catch, some short balls, some stolen bases, all in wet weather. So credit to these players putting on a great display of softball here in the wet.
Well, Queensland only obviously touched down yesterday, and Victoria and didn't get to get a chance to have a run on the Diamonds. Victoria were here a little bit earlier, and they did train on Diamond 2 at least. I was just having a look at the pitches in regards to one of the advantages that he's got so far tonight is that Zunker, as a starter, has thrown the 4 strikeouts and only given up the 1 hit. But the advantage is that she's only thrown the 56 pitches. So when you look at Laird, who was 62 pitches in on her start, and Holly Kane is 35 in relief, Zulka's still reasonably fresh.
Just jammed, and Kane will take a fairly simple catch there to end the inning, yeah.
Which is why she's throwing the ball still pretty hard. Whereas Holly's obviously already thrown that earlier game today as well. So
I've got 3 hits for Victoria. we'll just confirm that, but I reckon Panzer and Holt got a pair of hits in the last inning.
Sorry?
To go with Emily Fry's double. So, the 3 hits against Zunker for...
Yeah, my apologies, 3 hits. Pitch count right, but I got the hits wrong. My apologies. I'm having a shocker. I'm sorry. I'm freezing here.
Yeah, need the hand warmers, but no one brought that hot chocolate.
I was about to say.
So no one must be watching.
You know the hard part about it is that we are literally sitting 20 feet from a Donut King, and there's not a coffee or a packet of donuts in front of us, and that's why I think I'm struggling. I know most people would suggest that I don't need the donuts, but a cup of coffee would go great.
Well, we can only ask, and let's get back to the action here. Queensland defence might look a little different to how it started because they were ringing the changes when they were trailing 2-0. The changes have all paid off so far, and they lead 6-3. After 4 complete innings, we start the top of the 5th. This is Caitlin Laird. No, Holly Keane. Holly Keane has come in to the batting lineup as well for Caitlin Laird. And she flies out to Kurihara at shortstop.
Yeah, you get the sense that with the game straight after this one at 9 o'clock against WA on Diamond 2, that the coaching staff have made a pretty early call on Laird, and I would suggest that she's probably a likely starter in the next one.
From the left-handed box, Kimber, trouble as it lands between 3. Zunker just stayed out of it altogether, let the left side do the fielding. Foxover just had a little bit of trouble. The ground is greasy and wet and muddy, so let's give her a break on that one. I'm giving a single. Infield single for Kimber for mine.
You're going to send me over. You're going to send me over to find out, aren't you?
No, don't need to. Got the shake of the head from the team of scorers next to us here, and we will say E5 for those scoring at home, and we go back to the top of the order for the Big V, Hutchinson. Couple of good pieces of the ball. Unlucky not to find a gap. Both times a screamer of a catch from Ritter.
Oh, yeah, how good was it?
Had to reach that glove over on the backhand side in that 3-4 hole. Great swing, and it goes high. Kemp has been good in the box, and she takes a comfortable catch out at centre field for the second out.
Temporary runner for the catcher, number 95.
Temporary runner for the catcher, 95. You may have heard that in the effects mic. 95 is Casey Smith, obviously the chosen runner for the team. Radden gets a piece of this. It's a fly ball out to left field. So nice take from Rhodey. And Victoria pretty quickly. That's probably the quickest half innings we've had so far in the game.
Well, I was just saying, you know, Zunker hasn't thrown that much in comparison. She's basically thrown a third less than the 2 Victorian pitchers, and that's why she's been able to stay pretty fresh and still be throwing hard at this stage of the game. So top 6, South Australia still 3-0 up over Western Australia. Natasha Straps, who
pitched a beauty
in the first game against Victoria. She's currently at the plate. Grayson Walk still pitching for WA.
We'll see South Australia in action at 9 o'clock. It's a little over an hour away, so this game's still got 2.5 innings to go. The South Australia WA game still got 2 innings to go. So provided we could get through both those games reasonably quickly, we should start on time.
Yeah, I mean, it's it's 6-3 Queensland, and whilst they're hitting well, you still don't feel that Victoria are out of it. Still feel like they're still coming. So just need to get a couple of those hits back to back and try and put some real pressure on. Every time we see the ball hit into the dirt, it's definitely a question mark due to the condition of the ground.
Jessie Rohde's in the box for Queensland and made immediate impact when she was brought into the game.
Yeah, she went deep, centre right.
Queensland dropped their first game of the tournament, perhaps in a surprise, seeing that they're reigning champs.
Yeah.
6-3 against New South Wales, but they had to do it against Grace Rickson and Bridie Murphy, who both played in the Gillies Shield.
Yeah, Grace Rickson, who was named Rookie of the Tournament, and well-deserved too. She was great when she was in the pitching circle. She threw some great innings in important games, but was also solid at first and had some great shots of the ball too. So a genuine triple threat.
Strikeout for Kane. That's her second. Queensland had 10 strikeouts in that matchup. Rhiannon Kemp was the star with the bat for them, scoring both their RBIs. Foul ball. And Queensland scored all 3 runs that they scored in the game in the first inning. They had a long batting inning. Rhiannon Kemp hit it inside the park home run, scoring Harari Kurihara, and Moe Kurihara scored on a pass ball the pitch beforehand. So it was during Kemp's at-bat, so all 3 of their runs in that game against New South Wales.
Yeah, I thought there would have been a bit more of that in the game, the pass ball sort of danger because of the conditions, but both catchers have done a great job, and both pitchers, for that matter, have had great control. We've rarely seen a wild pitch.
Chelsea Zunker hit a double, her last plate appearance. Early on that change of pace, hits it into foul territory. They got 5 hits, Queensland. I mentioned that before. Kemp having 2. Mackenzie Peebles came in for a pinch hit and had a single. The other 2 hits came at the top of the order through Harari Kurihara. And third base player Foxover. Over to the right side, just foul. 5 hits in the first game, but they've doubled that here in the second game. We're in the bottom of the 5th. They've already got 10 hits. Great piece of the ball out to left field, and well, Fry didn't bend down to pick it up, and it's come off her foot, travels into centre field where Radin was. She did the right thing. She was backing up. So you're probably giving that a single to left, but then an error from Fry, who's kicked it to centre field. Then she had to go chase it down herself. The Eastern replay will show it here. Hit number 11.
Yeah, what a start to the tournament that is for Queensland.
Harris gets it by Schaefer at shortstop. Zunker will score from third. Queensland, the threat is real. It's 7-3. Just the one out in the 5th. Taylor Evans in the box. Had a single to start the 4th inning.
Yeah, Queensland still super aggressive. Constantly putting pressure on the Victorian field, so have been really good considering the conditions. They've Donny's gone up into the bullpen for the 3rd time, so
strikeout swinging second strikeout of the inning. That was Sorbello. Sorbello actually came back into the game, so Evans must have just had a pinch hit. Sorbello is the strikeout victim.
Substitution for Queensland. Number 34 is out. Number 29 is coming. Thank you, ladies.
So Chantel Finlay coming in and replacing Moko Arana.
That was Donny in the bullpen for Victoria.
Yeah.
Back to the Finlay. I've lost my spot here.
Yeah, that's.
My apologies to everyone watching at home. It's a lot going on around us right now, so our apologies here. Finlay's the new hitter. Sorbello was the last out, so Finlay's in for Kurihara.
Moy Kurihara. Didn't hear if it was just an at-bat or a fielding change.
Either way, there's 2 out. An extra run has been scored from Queensland in this inning.
Asking the question, just a bit outside. 3 balls, 1 strike.
Great pitching on the outside edge from Kane. Has looked good.
Yeah, you can see why she got the start in game 1. I mean, Laird started really well too.
Good shot out to right field, but there's that player again, Smith. Very comfortable in that position and makes it look easy for the 3rd out.
That is a re-entry on Moko Arana back into shortstop.
Yeah, Queensland definitely ringing the changes. So just to review, we are complete through 5. Queensland lead Victoria 7-3 here in the Under-23 Women's National Championships, the Joyce Lester Shield. We're coming to you from magnificent Garnerland in Adelaide Plains, West Beach, South Australia. And if you're not familiar with our broadcast, we've been bringing it for 6 years thanks to Spacequake Sports in the Softball SA Premier League. And if you're liking the broadcast, give us a comment, but also let us know where you're watching from as well. Your association, give them a shout out where you play and let us know who your favourite player is as well. Zunker will deal against Schaefer.
Still throwing hard late in the game.
In trying conditions as well for Zunker. Schaefer fouls that one off. Yeah, had to deal with a little bit of rain in Sydney for the 18s. Had to deal with a little bit of rain. Early days for the Gilly Shield, and Here she is dealing with a little bit of rain early days of the 23s. Beck Schaefer, shortstop. Fouls that one off.
You can see Schaefer's just been getting better with her at-bats. Now she's actually out in front, getting the ball higher up the handle, so definitely the adjustment's being made.
Gets a piece of the ball to the backhand side of Kurihara. A single for Schaefer. Well, there's still a little bit of hope here for the Victorians, trailing by 4 against one of the best young pitchers in the country. Kurihara just got a little stuck in the mud, but we won't penalise her for that.
Yeah, Chelsea Zunker from Brothers United, Hervey Bay Softball Association.
Alana Panza, she's been impressive so far this game.
Yeah, she's real busy at the plate. That's not the first time she's showed bunt.
Takes off on the pitch. It's a big lead off for Schaefer, and as the ball goes down, sacrifice bunt from Panza, advancing Schaefer safely to second. Now Panza went 2 for 3 against SA in a losing side. And in this game, she's gone 1 for 2 with a sacrifice bunt. Great contribution. First pitch swinging, Holt. Just goes foul.
Thought that was going to be the second catch like that she's taken tonight. So
Victoria had 5 hits against South Australia. Tamar Hutchinson, the third base, had 2. Alana Panza, the second base, had 2, and Natasha Holt had the other. High ball out to left field. Good calling from Rhodey for the second out. Runner stays put. That's Schaefer on second. Now, Victoria had 5 hits and was shut out by SA in a 3-0 game, but they only had the 1 strikeout. That's a pretty good batting effort from the Victorian team. Just gets away from the catcher, and Schaefer will cruise across to third, and maybe Fry might get a second RBI of the game. She had a double to centre field in the second inning. Swing and a miss. Now that game against South Australia, SA scored all 3 runs in the 6th inning. They also had just the 5 hits for the game. And as I have a look at the play-by-play on the Softball Australia website, another strike swinging for Fry. It was the change of pitcher, Michaeli Doney, who came in through a walk. There was an error in the field, then a safe bunt, a hit by pitch. So plenty happening. A strikeout from Zunker. Victoria leave a base runner stranded.
at third.
She's been good, Zunker.
Yeah, she's been real good. 7-3, you just got the feel with that runner at 3 for Victoria. That was sort of, that was the opportunity, trying to stay within striking distance.
Just the 5 strikeouts for Zunker. Now, we just mentioned that Victoria only had the 1 strikeout in their opening game as well, so we know that they're a good hitting team. They get good connection, bat on ball, put the ball into play. But Zunker, would you say, through 10 strikeouts in the 8 strikeouts in the 18s grand final. So very capable pitcher. And so that's credit to the Victorians. They might be trailing by 4. Yeah, she's done a great job because the ball's going to be wet and heavy and fingers are going to be cold, hard to get a grip on it. And
it was an important game to bounce back from, in the sense of having already dropped New South Wales in game 1 to be able to go back to the accommodation tonight, be 1-1, wake up in the morning and sort of reset those goals. He's the coach from Queensland. He's teaches a 30% skill, 70% mental philosophy. So he's spends a lot of time talking about the mental strength of the game, the gamemanship that's needed, and they're going to need that for a tournament like this.
70% mental. What sort of training did he say that they do for that?
Well, they've had a really good block of training leading up to this. He said they've had a really 5 or 6 weeks strong. Obviously, he wasn't going to go into too many details with me over the phone about what they have, but you could definitely hear in his descriptions overall that he's somebody that's been in softball a long time. I mean, he's obviously coached the Heat, and so really, I suppose, engaging and empowering the team to, have some positive impact in what they're doing. But I think the recognition of it, I mean, he's talked about the fact that, being really smart with recovery, focus on their processes and focus on what they can control and make sure that they do the 1%ers right and they do them well and they give them the same attention that they do everything else. It was a
excellent insight from my co-commentator tonight, Anthony Weatherstone. A lot of research goes into the commentary. Just ask Mark Cramp. Hours can be spent, and you've done another great job speaking to all of the coaches of this tournament. So terrific insight, and thank you, Anthony, for your time.
I apologise for the delivery. Still working that part of
mate,
it out. So.
Never apologise for the hard work that you put into this, giving back to this great sport. Mackenzie Peebles is in the box. It's a strikeout. And that awkward moment on that drop third strike when the batter's taken 2 steps back to the dugout and the catcher has to get up to tag him. And good pitching.
Not a good feeling, is it? When
from
it
Kane. Yeah, not a good feeling.
Sophie Roberts' great start to the under-23s continues. She's just hit her 3rd hit of the night.
Oh, geez, it's blown out.
It's gone out to 7-0. Peyton Daniels has also hit a double. Neve Adams and Taylor Chillingworth were on base and have scored. So South Australia now top 7, none out, in the middle of their lineup, leading 7-0.
Oh, Peyton Daniels having a tournament. Oh, speaking of tournaments, camp, it's only day 1. Look at her go. She flies around the bases. She stands up at 2. Captain's knock tonight. That's her 3rd hit. She had a walk in her first plate appearance, and she had a couple of hits in the first game against New South Wales.
She looks like somebody that's been here for a week playing in a national championship tournament. She is seeing the ball like a balloon at the moment. Great batting, and in that particular shot, she didn't try and swing too hard. That was controlled hitting. She knew exactly where she was going to put that ball into the space at centre right, and we're just getting some rain come back.
They look like heavy drops, but we're just wondering how long it might last. Might have to take a look at the players are coming off.
Yeah, it's heavy. It's just a matter of how long that's going to be. So, but he's done what he's needed to do. The Queensland coach Johannesson, he's played 5 innings and he's up by 4. So at the moment for him, if a game gets called, that's job done for him.
All right, I'm looking at the Bureau of Meteorology rain radar. This rain is blowing straight across the diamond. It is we're right in the middle of a thick band. It's heavy rain expected. So there might be a short delay, but if this rain, it is coming down very heavy, continues, we might have seen the last of this game here. We are in the bottom of the 6th inning. This is the heaviest it's been, the rain all day.
And then like that, it's back.
Well, let's hope that just like that. No, it's coming back for some more. I'd expect that for at least a few more minutes, and the diamond was already wet. We did get a bit of a reprieve from the weather. For the duration of the game, after it got underway, I can see the grounds crew are looking for cover.
South Australia have just finished that game on Diamond 2. Game's been called, so South Australia pick up their 2nd win of the day for a positive 2-0 start. 7-0 against Western Australia.
So they mercied Western Australia 7-0. No, bottom of the 7th. So yeah, they went the journey. So it looked like it was a tough battle between the two sides. I'm just preempting this to our viewers that I'm fairly certain that we've seen the last of play for today. Gee, this is
the heaviest it's
very
been.
Heavy rain, and there's puddles already starting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You can just see the blue umpire at the moment. He's just gone over to the Victorian bench. I think had a chat to the coach there. He's just heading over to the Queensland bench. I'd be surprised to say, yeah, he's waving his hand.
Well, I don't know if you can see it on screen, but this rain is absolutely hammering down, and there is not a thing we can do about it. So let's just wrap things up here from Softball SA. Queensland are leading Victoria in the bottom of the 6th. It is 7 runs to 3. And we're just going to leave the broadcast so our team at Spacequake Sports can get out of the rain. The hail starts to come down.
That's hail.
As well. So we'll leave it there. And thank you so much for joining us. We hope to be able to bring you back some more live softball action tomorrow night. Good night.
Good night.